sorrow. Once, in a quiet valley, there lived an old man named Devraj. Life had not been kind to him. He had lost his family years ago, and in his old age he found himself completely alone and broken. Every single evening Devraj would walk down to the bank of a deep, wide river flowing near his village. He would sit by the water for hours, watching the waves and pray with a heavy heart. Dear God, my story has been so long and filled with pain. When will you hear my prayers? When will you come to help me? Part 2. The Storm on the River. One evening, a terrible storm hit the valley. Dark clouds covered the sky, and the river began to overflow with violent, dangerous currents. Suddenly, Devraj noticed a small wooden boat trapped right in the middle of the raging river. Inside the boat were terrified villagers, including a small child who was crying out for help. Devraj knew that at his age, the water was too dangerous. But looking at the drowning people, something stirred deep inside his soul. He thought, my life is already empty. If I can save these people, my life will finally have a purpose. With a loud cry of faith, the old man jumped into the freezing, roaring river. Part 3. The Ultimate Test. Fighting the heavy currents, Devraj managed to reach the boat. Using every ounce of his remaining strength, he helped pull the villagers and the crying child safely toward the shallow bank. However, by the time the last person was safe, Devraj's old body gave out. Exhausted and breathless, he was swept away by a massive wave into the deep water. As he sank into the dark river, he closed his eyes, smiled peacefully, and whispered his final prayer, Amen, my Lord. I lose my life, but I keep my faith in you. Part 4. The Miraculous Help, God's Presence. Just as Devraj was about to lose consciousness, a strong, gentle hand grabbed his wrist. Out of nowhere, a calm stranger appeared in the middle of the fierce storm. This man pulled Devraj out of the deep waters and carried him safely to the shore. When Devraj finally opened his eyes, the storm had suddenly passed. He looked at the stranger and asked, trembling, Who are you? How did you save me from that deadly river? The stranger smiled warmly, his eyes filled with a divine light, and said, Devraj, you sat by this river for years asking when I would come to help you. Today, when you selflessly jumped into the water to save my children, you became my hands. And when you began to sink, I became yours. God never ignores a faithful heart, He simply waits for the perfect moment to hold your hand. Before Devraj could say another word, the stranger vanished into the golden